Hi guys, Blaine there, back for another episode of 30 Questions We Ask Thriving Women. And today for Mother's Day, we have a thriving new mother. A cool girl who actually did it all by herself. It's a gutsy move and something that that all of us women struggle with, especially us young single women. Not so young
Yes,
single women, I mean.
I'm so excited for this because I've been feeling like a hard pressure on my ovaries lately. And I just feel like I'm inspired by this. I'm going to be inspired by this conversation with Celine Lopez. And I have so many questions on, the unconventional path to being a mother. And yes, so watch and enjoy.
I wasn't in a relationship in my late 30s or whatever. I was just pretty much single. I just kind of saw my life like going solo and everything. I really did. I really, really felt it that this life, you know,
Mm.
it, being single works for me. It really does. Doesn't mean to say I don't have a date here or there, but
Mm.
I like just being on my own. And but then of course having Fernando, my son, has changed everything.
Okay. Do you think that there's a stigma around it in the
You
Philippines?
know what? I really thought that there would be one, but to be honest, my experience with other people have been nothing but at most they're curious. But I'm really really surprised that people are much more open minded about this.
You're giving me hope because it's something I've been
Really,
thinking
you
about.
should read. You know what?
Same.
You set a deadline for yourself. Um,
Mm.
for me, that's what I did. I set a deadline for myself, and how old are you now?
She's 31, I'm
31. I'm
30.
like,
Okay,
I have
so
to think about it.
you really need to think about it by the time you hit 35, because by 35, everything, everything like your egg count, everything, it's deeply affected.
Okay.
I know
So
I set a dramatic deadline for myself. I said 32, and I have no prospect. I'm gonna start freezing my eggs. Just so you know, they say the earlier the better to start freezing, right? So
yeah, but here's the thing about doing it in the Philippines. You need to be married. So if you're gonna do it solo, um, through my research, the best place for me was Australia because it's more ethical than it is in the United States,
Mm.
and it helps. It's cheaper, and by a lot. And
mm,
I did it once, and I did it once, and it was successful. So, and I was at
Yeah.
that time 40 years old. The reason I really chose the dad was because it was crazy because in Australia they're very very they really it's not like the United States where I have a feeling that people in the United States do IVF so randomly, and there's no limit to how many sperm donations you can give, you know,
Oh.
right.
and there's no limit to it. So one of these days they're gonna end up dating their brothers or sisters. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh,
in Australia,
wow.
there's a limit of 5 donations, which
Hmm.
that made me feel comfortable. And
Yeah.
the dad of Fernando, the donor of the sperm donor, was like, he wrote a note. He said, "Please give this to the kid," and it says, he said like,
Mm.
your mother must really want to have you for her to do this. So don't get angry at her if you feel like sometimes you
Yeah.
don't have a dad or whatever. And when you're 18, you have and it's no, it's allowed in Australia. Like when they're 18, they can meet their donors, their father
Yeah.
donors. I don't know how to
Mm.
call it. So that kind of like that kindness, I mean, that was
Yeah.
something that really drew me to my choice. It's to be honest, it was that clinched the deal.
Yeah. I
That,
mean,
that's
people
what,
always like freak out that it's a bit too much of science, but then hearing that there's a note to it, like that someone, there's a human side, I
Yeah,
think that's
exactly.
quite
There's a
nice.
human side to it, and that, yeah, there's a point that I really felt like I was playing a little bit of like Doctor God by like,
mm-mm.
okay,
Mm.
it has to be this, it has to be that. Da, 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 da. Um, that's why I didn't even I stopped it, And then my one of my best friends, Hindi Weber, she's
Mm.
very 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 in touch, with like all these things. And she's one of the most wonderful mothers I've ever known in my life. And she
Mm.
told me, Celine, the baby usually chooses you. So that's when I said it. So when they asked me, do you want to choose the sex or whatever, it's like, no,
Mm.
just randomly choose something. And true enough, after one, I initially wanted a girl. And
Mm.
but now I can't imagine having one because of Fernando. He's just a joy to be with. And
You were successful in the first round, and I was wondering, having a kid at 40 or getting pregnant at that age, like, what's
oh,
the biggest
dude,
hurdle that you had
it
to
is
overcome?
hard. It is. I understand
Yeah.
that why like in terms of like just biology, it's so simple.
Mm.
In terms of that, wow, like I understand why you're supposed to get pregnant in your 20s because like when you're 40, oh my god, I cried. So during my baby shower I would go to the bathroom and cry because I was in such severe pain. It was just so
What was the
painful.
pain? Like,
My
you just
back was giving up. My lower back was just like whatever. You can't get a massage while you're pregnant. You can get a prenatal massage, but it doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
So it was painful, and I feel like I lost. Well, Fernando was premature, so I was pregnant for 7 months. I
Mm.
really felt it on around the fourth, fifth month.
Mm.
I was I was I was useless those few months,
Mm-mm.
those 5 months. No. It was for 3 to 4 months, completely useless. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a precursor of what was gonna happen
Mm.
when COVID hit. That was basically
Yeah.
my life. I was just stuck in my room watching
Mm.
Netflix. Oh, it was just horrible.
So, other than the biological hurdles you had to go through, how did you prepare um for having a child on your own? What were the main preparations you had to make?
First of all, you fix everything. I'm so OC, so I fixed his educational fund. He's an only child. We're a very
Mm.
small family. I prepared for that. His educational fund, his life insurance, medical insurance, everything. But of course, I had to give birth first.
So, going through all of this, what was your support system like?
Oh, wonderful. My friends have been amazing. My mother was incredible. Shout out to my mom because like seriously, was she's 74 years old. And
Mm.
she was completely, I mean, this is something so completely alien to her, it's like it's so it's so not in her time, like, to have a
Mm-mm.
kid, get a random donor and whatever. But she
Mm.
was completely supportive, on board. She came with me to every scan and everything. Really made us closer.
Mothers say that giving birth is life changing. I have a few friends who are first time moms, and one said it only changes you as much as you let it. Others say that's completely life changing. For you, what was the most shocking change that you experienced being a first time mom?
I was surprised at how much I sucked at it. Look at my shirt, bad moms.
I like it
This is
that way. It's cool.
one of my yeah, I know. This my friend Pai made this and she's selling it or whatever. Love and Mama, I'm plugging it here. I was surprised, to be honest, with how bad of a mom I am. Like, not bad, but like I really thought I'd be this helicopter parent and be, I was like so, like OC and everything. It's the little things and it takes so much time. Giving birth is probably the easiest thing about motherhood because you need to feed every 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours for
Mm.
24 hours. That's all you do. You're like a cow. And there's some mothers who love breastfeeding so much, and more power to them. Like, amazing.
Wow.
I wish I could
Yeah.
have that experience, but it was not that at all. And then as Fernando grew, he was premature. He still can't walk. And,
Mm.
he's just learned to crawl. And he's already like 1.5 years old. Like, so that's pretty delayed. So
Mm.
it was these things that I didn't expect. And maybe I'm a bad mom in a way. Sometimes I feel like I've just got hit by a truck and like I don't know what to do. But I'm lucky to have mommy friends. Mommy friends, by the way, if you're gonna get pregnant, you better like have a mommy
Find
mom
them.
Mm-mm.
because they will save your life. Like it's like I'm friends now with all these moms who I've known before socially, whatever, but now they're like my, my
Your
lifeblood.
go-to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, my life force right now.
Uh-uh.
So if you're gonna have a kid by yourself, you better have a strong mommy group going on.
Mm.
I have to admit, when I first
Yeah.
gave birth, I thought it was gonna be instant love, instant whatever. Of course, I didn't feel anything for a
Yeah.
while. At least 3 to 4 months, it was like
Wow.
this little doll there, and he, it only started when he started interacting with me. He started playing with me, and my postpartum, I knew that like I would go through the motions,
Mm.
feed, sleep, be there for him, stay in the nursery and just be near him. I was doing everything I can to bond,
Yeah.
do skin to skin, all these things. It just wasn't happening. It was like,
Mm-mm.
mm, I felt more connected to my dog. So I was like,
Mm-mm.
I was like, okay, yeah. So
Yeah. I think that's super nice to mention because most mothers would feel guilty to even think that
oh
or
my
say that.
god, you really
Diba?
feel
But then,
you feel horrible.
yeah, but the
Absolutely
fact
horrible.
is it happens daw talaga. And it's nice too.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to hear.
Oh my god, it
Yeah.
really and the thing is this happens 90% of the time. People are just pretending. I'm telling
Uh-oh.
you.
Mm.
Again, this is the
Everyone's
best moment of
pretending.
my life.
You
Yeah.
fake it till you make it, man. That's exactly
Uh-oh.
what
Yeah.
I did. I mean, I really did everything to be like a good mom as dictated by society. But
Mm.
to be honest, what inside me, I was empty. And but now it's different. Like now he's like my buddy, and we do a
Yeah.
lot of things together and everything. So it changes and it grows. You just have to stay there. You can't let the disease, the postpartum, um,
Mm.
get to you.
Mm-mm.
The moment you acknowledge you have postpartum, the weaker it becomes. So
Yeah.
that helps.
A lot of women right now are actually in a panic because a lot of love lives have come to a halt during the
Yes.
pandemic.
Oh, they just get
And
pregnant. I have so many friends who got pregnant this during the pandemic.
I
I've
wish
been
I was
quarantined
that.
alone. There's no pregnancy happening
I know.
immaculately here.
Yeah.
What's the top tip for women that are panicking right now? Pressure on their love lives, pressure on their ovaries. What
Freeze
are
your
you?
eggs. To be honest, freeze your eggs. If you plan to 100, it has to be 100%. If you plan to get married 100%, then you can do it here. Have your
Yeah,
eggs frozen here and just wait for the guy and get married.
yeah.
I have a friend who did it, but she chose her friend's sperm. But I think that's weird.
Oh, oh.
That could, I have a feeling it's cute if you think about it, but I feel like it can get complicated real
It
quick.
can get really complicated really quick. Yeah, and
Right.
especially if you see the
Wow.
person and that's the donor, and yet he doesn't have a paternal role in the baby's life. So the kid is gonna be so confused,
Yes, like,
Yeah.
Mom, bakit parang kamukha ko yun? Don't worry about it.
right? And then he'll have his own kids, and it's weird.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Yeah, I think when it comes to donors, anonymous is the best.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine like a friend. But I've heard people nga doing the pack na if I don't have a husband or a boyfriend
Yeah,
at this time, ikaw na
that's
lang.
not
But
good.
okay, this one's actually Shari's story, and I wanted to know what you think about this.
Okay.
Um, there was this, would you say he's a douche, right? Okay.
He was a
Um,
douche, yes.
yes, he was a douche. He was trying to grapple into Shari when Shari was putting her effort into a nicer guy. And he told her that he said, figures you have aging eggs. No wonder you're settling.
Oh my
I guess
god.
my question is, have you ever experienced something similar? And what do you think of men that say these things?
Oh, first of all, they're assholes. Wow, what a that's. borderline abusive, man.
Actually, tawang-tawa nga ako. I was like, totoo ba to? I was like, this is not
Yeah,
real. Who
that's
types this?
horrible. There's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
nothing to even say about a person like that. But
Mm.
Yeah.
with that said, I've seen a lot of people too settle just because they want to start families and everything.
Mm.
I've seen it happen. Um, and the thing is, because in the Philippines, it's just like there's just so much. As I said in the beginning, I thought there was gonna be a lot of stigma, but maybe I'm not aware. Maybe no one's just saying it to my face. But like,
Yeah.
I haven't really experienced it. And in
Mm.
terms of like raising the kid by myself, oh my god, it's been an absolute joy. If I know myself. If I had a boyfriend or husband with me and then have this kid, I'll probably kill him. Because at
May
least
mga lalaki pang ano eh.
there's no one to kill. You know, there's no one to kill when they're not
Yeah,
there. So while you're
exactly.
breastfeeding, and then I can just imagine during breastfeeding, and then someone's like, oh, you just get homicidal real fast.
Do you really? I think it's because you have the strong, cool vibe. People are probably like frightened to even say something stupid. I mean, have you gotten it though? Like before, like, why are you still single? Why don't you settle down? Do you get the same thing like that we do?
Yeah, and for me, it's just like, of course, like especially titas and titos, when is it gonna happen? And oh, you know, they all shut up the moment I got pregnant. They're just like shocked. I'm sure all my titas and titos got shocked.
Mm.
My mom had to wrap her brain around it, but she was on board.
What would you teach your son? Like, what's like one tip you would give
Oh,
your
you
son
know,
about how he would treat women in the future?
as early as now, I'm trying. For me, I don't want to raise a jerk. You know, I mean, so Fernando, up from day one, who cares if he's still whatever? From day one, you really have to rein yourself in and be. I'm super bad cop, like with him, and he's only 1.5. But like when I say
Wow.
no, he really like, he really, you need to you have to teach your son the word no, and this will be important when he has relationships later on, or when
Mm.
he's dating. you know it's such an important word. Maybe 10 years ago, a lot of parents thought it was negative parenting to say no to your children, but um in my case with Fernando, I wanted it. This is one of the first lessons I'm teaching him, is the word no.
What is the best advice you've ever received from anyone in your life?
Live within your means, especially with Instagram. It's like creating artificial lives and everything, buying shit and like they can't
Yeah.
afford it and everything.
Mm.
There's like a surprisingly practical side to me. Like
Yeah.
that's probably like the mom in me, the one.
Mm.
Uh,
I do have to bring up your book because I just started reading it on the
oh my
Kindle,
god,
and in
the second one or the first one?
the first, the recorded history of a girl.
That's the second one, yeah.
The second one,
Oh my
yes.
god, please. Oh my god, oh my god. I really wish that book never happened.
Whoa.
But I
I
love that.
That is
I
one of
love
my top
letters.
five
So
failures in life. Okay.
what?
And when I
Okay.
read it now, I'm like, "Eh." And I did the book. It is so funny because I did a book reading in National Bookstore. So I
Yeah.
did a book reading, and while I was reading it out loud, I was like, I wrote this shit, and I'm looking at my friends, and they're also cringing, and I'm like, nah. I was like, Mom, can you buy all the books in National Bookstore now?
Bullshit.
Please
Finish it all.
hide it.
Okay. Well, we
I
love
know.
it. There's
Oh
there's
my
a part
god.
in the start where you write, here is a jewel of advice to a 16-year-old son on his
Yeah.
first date, including not wearing a t-shirt or taking the girl to a mall's food court, but rather to an Italian restaurant with tablecloths, opening doors for the girl, having to be nice to the waiter, and if the moon is
Yeah.
right, kiss her. What is your advice to your son when he goes on his first date
Don't
with
rape her.
okay, that is a valid advice.
Yes. And like, she says no, it's no. Then second,
Okay.
don't get her pregnant.
Celine, what is the best habit you've trained yourself to do?
Maybe drinking moderately. I've learned. I've learned finally how to do it. I was sober for 5 years before, but like just to prove to myself that I could and that I wasn't an alcoholic or anything. But definitely before I would drink a lot, and a lot of problems always stem through that. 90% of my problems started with alcohol. It's good. It's a good feeling now. I can enjoy it. And it's something I really love to do. So I can enjoy it and like not really,
Moderation.
yeah, in moderation.
Yeah, we had an episode last night with like Susie 899 and our friend, and I got a little bit tipsy during the show. It was fun, but you play it back and you're like, oh, what was I saying?
Yeah.
Do you believe in luck?
I think the thing with luck is it's what you do with it. That's important. You can be lucky that you met an amazing guy, but it's more of like the rewards only come if like you're good in the relationship, you're good to the person that you're with. It's really what
Yeah,
happens when you're lucky that
that's what.
counts.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that just because let's say you win the lottery, you could have spent it on like Big Macs the next day and you'd be
Exactly.
back
and
to
they and
zero.
they say and they say right, like the
Hmm.
lottery winners are the most depressed people in the world.
How do you overcome roadblocks?
You just really you just have to be fastidious and very committed to your goal. You're only as powerful as you think you are.
We've heard the cliche na you're successful when you're wealthy. But to you, what is the definition of success?
That is a very loaded question. I think you're successful when you're content. It's
Hmm.
not that euphoric feeling of winning. It's more of the perpetual state of being content and happy. That's success.
I love that. The word contentment is like really underrated, but people really should aspire for it.
Exactly. Even when you're dating someone,
Mm.
I've been in relationships where I'm head over heels in love with someone. But I've also been in relationships where which do and those lasted longer, where I truly just like the person that I was with. At the end of the day, you just really need to like each other and respect each other. That is better than and it's amazing to fall head over heels in love, but then I don't know, that doesn't seem to last.
Mm.
You need just like and respect each other, I think.
Yeah, it was really heart-wrenching to read your essay on ANCX about your nervous breakdown.
I was in a relationship for 6 years, and it was like crazy, cyclical, crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I got out of it, I reassessed, and I haven't been in a relationship since, to be honest, because
Mm.
I just really want to be with a person I feel safe with.
Have you healed from that part in your life, or it's something you're still working on?
It changes you in so many
Mm.
ways. It's just the same way, like how you'd never get completely over like daddy issues or mommy issues. When you let somebody in your head and in your heart that deep, it changes you.
Mm.
Then the next challenge is it's not to become the same Celine or the same person,
Yeah.
but what how to improve yourself after such a calamity.
What makes a good relationship for you, Celine?
I probably had like one of the best relationships I had was probably like 10 years ago. And that was it. We loved each other, respected each other a lot. It was the best relationship really. I fucked it up.
No, it's
That's
okay.
fine.
We curse in the show.
All the time.
But I screwed it up. We were living in India, and it was just great. I just got cold feet. I do know I'm a commitment phobe. I am. After you're like I was like engaged 4 times. I
Really?
think
Oh.
yeah, I think that's saying something, right?
Yeah. Do you
So
think
you
you
get
know why? Like, what is it? Do you understand? Like, what makes you jump ship?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I have seen all these marriages and they're just so horrible and everything. And my parents didn't exactly. They loved each other. They really, really did.
Mm.
But it was hard work. And I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty okay by myself. can take care of myself and can take care of my sons. If there's one thing I really am looking for in a man right now, it's really kindness. That's, that's the problem with this world. We view kindness as a weakness.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
And that's why a lot, and for all of us who watch Sex in the City, we all
Burst? Do you think
no,
we got
we
burst?
all really got brainwashed at Mr. Big and what his life
Yes.
became.
You know who
He's an
was the
asshole.
happiest?
Mr. Big
Charlotte.
is an asshole.
Agreed.
And
Charlotte was
an
so happy
entire
with,
generation of girls got brainwashed by Mr.
yeah.
Big.
Who's
Mm.
Charlotte's husband, the bald guy? Remember, like at first she just didn't like him because
Harry.
Harry. See who's the happiest? Charlotte. Because look at Harry, such a nice guy.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
mm-mm. Okay, so Celine, so if you could have lunch with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, okay. Interesting question. I would be, who would I want? Jesus. And I'd
Wow,
ask him if it was all true. Please make it
I
up.
I like that answer.
Finish this statement. I will be content when blank.
I'll be content when I see Fernando out and about in the world, armed with a good education, good morals, being a good person. That for me is my ultimate goal in life now.
It's a lovely goal.
I
I
feel
think
like I've done a lot in my life, and I've accomplished some goals I set for myself,
Mm,
and now my life, as much as I say that there's hats, and all of these things,
mm.
if there was an ultimate goal in my life, it would be Fernando's success as a human being.